right. Good afternoon. Rainy Sunday afternoon, I think. From Manila. Well, yeah, from Manila. We are back live after a while. Hey, Bruce. Good afternoon, sir. Uh, life's happened. That's why you've only gone live today after a long while. And I'd like to. Well, it wasn't supposed to be a one-man thing. I had a co-host before. Uh, not sure what happened, but I hope he's safe. Cap, hope you're safe out there. But now we have a new co-host so that the show can go on even if kind of life gonna gets in the way for the show. So I'd like to introduce Gab as our new co-host for the CNA.
Hello.
Gab,
Good
Gab's
afternoon to everyone.
all the way from
La Union.
La Union, man. Like, are you?
Just arrived
Ano,
this afternoon.
I, ano meron dyan? Work? Or
um, I will take 1 week here lang.
solid yan. Habang
Yes.
single ka pa. Solid. All right. Hey,
Pwede nga,
Kevin.
pwede nga.
What's up? Teka, nawala yung isang ating guest dapat ngayon eh. But we have G
Oh,
in the panel. Oo nga. Nasaan si Julio? I-chat mo nga. Julio, where are you?
Hi guys. Hi
G,
guys.
punta ka pa sa light. Hindi ka namin makita. Sayang yung gear mo, sir.
Yun nga eh. Tanggalin ko na lang.
Teka, nawala si Julio eh. Anyway, ito kayo, Jeff. What's up? Good afternoon. And, ayan, ito, hindi nagpakita kanya sa pre-show. Pero we have Carl also online. Hey, Carl.
Ayan, Carl. What's up, man?
Ayan,
Yo,
yan.
kumusta?
Si ano. Anyway, as I posted like siguro like Thursday, gusto kaya natin kasi get isang preview or reaction so I guess it's too little of a reaction but if you guys want to talk about it, it's okay kasi ako honestly hindi ko napanood. School life, hindi ako pwede mag-quit ng gano'n. But you, Gab, did you watch that game against Young Boys?
Unfortunately, yes, no? Yeah, it started out so well, and I wanted to get your thoughts, no, Carl and G. It started out so well. I think 12th or 13th minute, no, that Bruno outside of his right foot pass to Ronaldo. Sino pa
Actually,
ba?
I saw that highlight. Ang ganda. Ang ganda.
Yeah, and like it was, we weren't playing so well, but you saw that parang we were dominating the game, and then Aaron Wan-Bissaka, loses the ball. And as always, when he loses the ball or when, an attacker is right in front of him, that indeed dives. He extends his foot and ayun, it lands on the ankle.
I think he did his best, he did his best Lukaku impression with that,
with that touch. So actually, Carl and G, I wanted to ask, for this game, I don't want to.
Dumating na si Julio.
Alright. Dumating na. Yan. Sakto. So, Julio, I was talking about the Young Boys game, and unfortunately, si Jeff wasn't able to watch it. But after the first goal, and I felt we had control of the game even though we weren't playing that well. But when the red card happened, I just wanted to ask, so I don't want to ask the question, whom should we play? Right? It happened. But siguro I wanted to ask the team, how much blame, right, should Oli get? I think I've heard a lot about from the pundits, especially on his lineup changes, right? On specific things that he did. So I think pinasok niya si Varane, pinasok niya agad si Dalo, right, and his subs. So how much do you think, we should blame Olen? What does it mean for the rest of the campaign? Who wants to start? Maybe Julio, you have some thoughts?
It's hard to put in percentages kasi on how much blame should it take. Pero ideally kasi since he's the manager, he should accept all of it. Pero as far as the result is concerned, as far as the personnel he picked is concerned kasi I think he should have done better in terms of organizing them, especially in the second half. Even if he was already facing a team kasi who was already at it kumbaga there were certain holes pa rin kasi in the Young Boys game kasi on that night that they should have taken advantage of. I mean, he was able to bring in Dalo. true na nawala si Donny van de Beek. But the extra protection kasi that Lindelof and Varane provided, and of course Maguire at the heart of the defense, that sense of protection kasi should have been there already kahit paano for enough for the likes of Dalot, Pogba, and Fernandes to take a few more risks, kumbaga. Pero I guess there's something in Oli's mind kasi at the time na, and I think this is evident din kasi in the past games kasi na even with 11 men and with a couple of goals, one goal behind kasi there's this tendency kasi for Oli kasi to play it safe. Eh. One good example kasi there game that I can think of is that game against West Ham at home a couple of seasons ago nung nag-restart yung season. No nung inaward ng penalty ang West Ham because of Pogba handball. Masyado naging mag-iingat si Oli. I think the tendencies are still there on the manager's side, on the managerial level para na mag-play safe. I mean, he had the weapons eh. But then again, I could also look at other examples naman na hindi si Oli ang manager, Sir Alex, na he has the personnel naman din to go at it, and yet he lost 6-1 to City. That infamous 6-1 loss to City. That could have been a dreadful result to carry home to. Nagkataon lang talaga na one thing na nagkamali lang talaga si Jesse Lingard at the very end of the game. Eh. Parang kumurap siya eh. Kumbaga. And that's the risk kasi when you're playing with your back against the goal, kumbaga, so to speak. But that's as far as yung experience naman is concerned. Kasi kapag ganun yung sistema kasi na paglalaro mo na masyado ka ng defensive at masyadong lubog, tendency is kasi is kapag yung mga players kasi on the field, especially with the likes of Lingard and Martial kasi na hindi talaga exactly built kasi na maglaro ng ganun ka-deep, na ganun kalalim, then there will always be times talaga na magiging fragile sila defensively, and that's what happened. Eh, kumbaga, 1-1 would not have been a bad result against a David Wagner team. I mean, he's done it before with Huddersfield. Eh. Pero with the given with the circumstance kasi it could have been different. Kung hindi lang talaga nagkamali lang ng sabihin na natin bitaw ng pasa si Jesse Lingard. But yeah, nandun na yung game eh. So para sa akin, it all boiled down talaga on how Oli organized this team. It's all on him talaga. Eh. Sorry.
Yeah. I agree with the organization. I think when I was watching the game, the first substitution made sense for me, right? Na you bring in kawawa si Jadon Sancho, but I think he didn't play well in the first 30 minutes or so, right? That he was there. He kept losing the ball. I wanted Ole to give him a chance, but bringing in Dalo for Sancho made sense. But the sub for Varane and took out Van de Beek, and yeah, that was the halftime sub, no? Where I made it very okay, yeah. And I also felt that coming from also kasi we've been talking about City, Liverpool, and Chelsea, no, being the four tayong apat yung contenders, no. And Chelsea got down 10 men versus Liverpool, but also had chances, played better. So I wanted to ask maybe Carl, how did you feel about those changes? And particularly, Julio did mention that Oli can get very conservative, no? Is that something of a concern for you, especially when we're going after the title, no? This season.
I think oo kasi parang nawawala yung ano yung parang di ba nga nabanggitin ni Julio yung City game. We lost 6-1 but at least we got a goal. We went for it. Although talagang butas yung midfield din natin nun. It didn't make sense to take Van de Beek off since siya yung parang taga-keep ng possession eh. And second half, if you watched it, parang tayo nag-sit back eh. We can't even retain the ball. If napunta kay Bruno or Pogba, wala na, doon na lang kay Ronaldo. We can't even have a decent passage of play. Medyo disappointing considering na I had high hopes for the game. And also, siguro earlier questions nyo, parang siguro partly to blame din yung players. They should have also taken responsibility na parang, let's go for this. We can't just settle for a draw. Parang pride na lang din nila since they're playing 10v11.
Yeah, agreed. No, and just for everyone who's watching, because I'm not, I don't want the conversation to be do we blame Ole. It's more of like, are we concerned, especially in the style of play, on how he reacted? Because very well known sa atin, he likes to double pivot, right? And I think that's something that siguro parang just surprised me. Okay, parang as Manchester United as young boys, we can attack them, right? But I agree at the end of the day, correct si Julio,
I
with that
think,
errant Jesse Lingard pass, yeah.
oh, ayan, sabi ni Bruce, no? Synthetic field din siya, so mga amateur players or weekend warriors, okay lang synthetic field, but for professional players, I guess it's a different challenge to play on a synthetic field. And siguro, could be a factor, I don't know. But it's definitely something that was psychologically affecting them, maybe. Pero, yun. How about G? What's your take on that, G? On the last game? Oh, no. He froze. Nag-freeze ka ba?
Oh no.
Ayan,
Ayan.
G.
Is G
Bumalik na
there?
ba siya?
Ayan,
Rinig ba?
Ayan.
Wait lang.
Ayan. Ayun nga, sabi nga ni Marco, baka nga,
Yun, sorry, ano yung question, Jeff?
was wondering yung question ni Gab, kasi, like, how much, how much nasayang ba? How much sinayang ni Oli yung last game? Like, I mean, responsibility really is on Oli, but was it really completely his fault? Or, ano, talagang namalas lang din talaga siya?
For me, sa akin, parang namalas lang dahil hindi nag gumana yung dapat gagawin ni Ole with once na they have scored with Ronaldo, more on defense na. And then nagtaka lang ako bakit si Baran yung sinab nila for Donny. Parang nagmukhang 5 on the back and then going deep na hindi naman na-utilize ni Ole. Sa akin na lang moving forward na lang to this game and then this Carabao Cup din. Yun.
Actually, magkasunod na, no, Gab? We have 2 West Ham games on the horizon. Medyo,
A quick way to bumawi, no? Yun yung the best
Sana nga.
sometimes eh.
parang,
True.
I like, ibating natin yung ating, some of our commenters. So we have Bruce, we have Kevin, we have Jeff, we have Bon and Alf from United Cards PH. Welcome, sirs. And then, of course, we have Marco who commented earlier. Okay. I guess, wala. Talagang, yung only outers, medyo field day sila after that field.
Yeah.
Basta kahit anong mali na lang, bang.
Yeah.
Diba? But anyway,
I mean, if it were 1-1, no, Jeff, it would be a totally different narrative.
I think it's a 10.
oh,
They were done to 10
sobrang-
so 1-1
yeah.
was kind of respectable if it's a 10 men. If you're down to
And the other game also drew eh. So like the it's very early. So
yeah,
just
so
funny.
that's okay. At least nag-draw sila, so hindi mahirap kumabol eh.
correct.
Anyway, going to the game tonight. Early game, buti lang. But baka, hindi ko lang kung makapanood ako kasi baka too early. Baka hintayin ako. Anyway. So, as Gab shared earlier to me, no, I was asking, kung nanalo si Boys, did he ever win against us in a West Ham, as the West Ham manager? Yun na, parang hindi pa, 4 draws na ba, Gab? Or
2 draws, 4 losses.
2 draws, 4 losses.
Oh.
And
Yes.
the last time we played them was in March, and Jesse Lingard couldn't play against us. It was loan, right? But
Yes,
now,
correct.
based on their form, they started out the season pretty well. They won 4-2 against Newcastle, and then 4-1 against Leicester, which is not that easy.
Mhm.
But then again, the next 2 games, they drew 2-2 to Crystal Palace and then 0-0 to Southampton. Southampton's getting these 0-0 draws. Anyway, so how do you think we're gonna? I mean, personally, I think Ole and the team will just get out and run. But what do you think are the weaknesses that West Ham will try to take advantage of?
Mhm. Well, I think their weakness definitely. I'd say this season in particular, they're very ano tawag dito, dependent on the play of Mikel Antonio. He's suspended for this game because of that stupid second yellow card he got on their last game, no? And that was late. And I think coming from the Newcastle game, which I watched that was the first, their defense is leaky. So I think that's definitely something that we can take advantage of, especially the likes of Ronaldo. Hopefully talaga Sancho can also take advantage of it. But yeah, I think being very dependent on Antonio in the front and also their back, which is right now very much leaking goals left and right. So field day for attackers, hopefully. Hi, Jeff, you're on mute.
Thanks. I think the fullbacks also like to attack, no, with Kufa. Ano, Kufal ba yun? Kufal.
Ufama. Ufama tsaka si
Sufal.
ano.
Sufal.
Kupal.
Sufal.
Sufal ba? Sufal.
Sufal yun.
Sufal ba?
Vladimir
Sufal. Okay. Sufal and Cresswell, no, they like to get forward. No? But then again, Antonio has been on fire, and fortunately,
Yes.
he's suspended. But then again, Ben Rama has been doing well since his arrival. No? And of course, you have the tandem of Rice and Suchek, which is
Yes. Not bad.
honestly, parang baka mas okay pa sila as a double pivot kaysa double pivot natin. But what are your thoughts on that, Julio? What weaknesses do you think West Ham will try to take advantage of on our end? What are the weaknesses of United that they'll try to take advantage of?
Until hindi pa ma-figure out ni Ole on how to make sure na mag-gel yung midfielders that he has at this point in time, whether it's McFred or otherwise, then United will always have a hard time trying to keep themselves going. I think we'll be seeing United, not just this game, but then in the next, na we might see themselves conceding or nearly conceding goals before they wake up, at least. But with the kind of system West Ham are playing at right now, since wala silang focal point at this point in time since Antonio suspended up until the next time na we meet sila in the cups. I think United does have that advantage as long as they maintain yung discipline nila. Per the last meeting that they had both home and away last season, I think United does have a bit of an advantage in a sense na as long as they be able to keep Declan Rice and Thomas Suchek away from being able to perform for long periods of the game, then they will have a chance. They will either McTominay or Fred, or pag samahin nila yung dalawa, they should be able to allow the likes of Pogba and Fernandes to cause havoc, allowing the forwards to continue to pour on all of those chances tulad na sinabi ni Gab. I mean, kasi ang focus kasi ngayon is to be able to ensure na maging solid in the midfield. At this point in time, it's not really happening. But I think the discipline is there. And I think that's the only thing that they can rely on at this point in time. Skill set wise, system wise, in terms of yung double pivot, they don't have it yet. Total maaga pa naman yung season. Pero it could be a make or break thing kasi as the season goes by. So they really need to get it right. First half pa lang. Once they get it right, then definitely we'll be seeing the likes of, sa totoo lang, nung bumalik si Ronaldo sa team, parang at this point in time, kahit sino lang i-partner mo sa kanya na attacker,
Actually,
kahit dalawa lang sila anyone can score. As long as they do not become profligate, mahirap na. I mean, it's hard to see yung forwards kasi ngayon na, alam mo yun, they are not trying to attempt as much as they should be. Pero given the options, kahit apat sila dyan okay lang at least, as long as they're creating chances, that's the important thing Pero it's becoming, it's all about becoming more clinical na lang And the only forward that I can think of right now, outside of Ronaldo na, who's more clinical than the others, is Mason Greenwood.
Yes.
So at some point, I'm sure he'll get some game time. I believe the confidence is there pa rin naman for all to see. So
yeah.
So that's why for me, head scratcher yung sub ni Martial na 80th plus minute in Young Boys.
I think that's something I can. Yeah, that's right. Pero I think I can answer that. I think ang difference kasi na laro kasi ni Greenwood kasi tsaka ni Martial, in terms of yung foundations kasi na laro nila kasi is, si Martial kasi is, he's being trained kasi to hold the ball as a number 9, which is something that he always wanted to
holding
play.
Up Oh, parang false 9 kasi yung laro na He's either a
Yes, that's
false
right.
nine
That's
or
right.
he's a winger from the left. He can't.
And
He's not
remember
a
the
striker
purple
you
patch
want
that
to
he had?
stay up front. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So remember the purple patch that he had at the time na before the lockdown and after the lockdown sa UK? He had
Yeah.
that purple
Hmm.
patch kasi wherein he was effective there. But because he's a
Hmm.
confidence type of a player, he
Yeah.
still needs
Oh.
that run of games kasi to be able
Mm.
to match that, and that's an issue. That's where Greenwood comes in. Now, Greenwood isn't really a number 9, but he does know how to dovetail tulad nung kung
Yeah.
paano maglaro si either Cole
Actually,
and
he's
Dot.
getting the runs now, huh? In
Yes, that's
fairness,
right.
he's getting
Lalo
those.
na nung exactly. Paano siya naglaro against Leeds and the Wolves? Parang ganun.
Yes.
So that's where the advantage comes in. So imagine
Mhm.
kinikilabutan ako. Imagine the options United has now. As in,
Ibang level yung
kinikilabutan ako.
kinikilabutan ng laban
Sa
natin.
kilig.
Ibang level
Mahina na
yung-
to electric fan ko, kinikilabutan ako. With the options that United has right now. Kasi
Yes.
even Sancho can play as a forward. Eh. Pero it's all
Mm.
about not being profligate. Kailangan talaga ma-execute yung chances na maayos. Eh.
Mhm.
And well, since nakalaro na si Martial kahit pa paano, then maybe he might have a better chance at it. But with Ronaldo around, then probably kahit sino lang ibato mo dyan. Eh.
Actually,
As
I'm
long
looking
as
at the
they
West Ham
make their chances
formation now.
Mhm.
I'm looking at the West Ham formation now. Talagang midfield sila lamang eh. Like the double pivot type. Pag
For sure.
face baka parang mas lamang sila. But everything else, but looking at their lineup, andun na pala si Zuma, no? I mean, he's
Yes.
not there.
Yeah,
Zuma's
he's okay.
there.
He's been okay.
And then si Ariola pala, no? Pero he's not starting eh. No? Si
It's
Fabianski pa rin ang starter.
Fabianski. Yeah.
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 And then,
Fabianski
sorry.
yung starting nila.
Yeah, Fabianski. Well, for Carl, I'll ask a question to the panels. How do you like your system play? Like later, our system play. Actually, if it's been talked about sa chat now, parang it relies on individual brilliance,
Mhm.
which isn't too far off from how Alex Ferguson played.
Correct.
Yun lang, ang dami kasi pwede may individual brilliance. Something na yun. Dito kasi, dahil nga you have those weak spots, of course, those chances for individual brilliance goes down. You know? But Carl, uh, going to you, no, with this kind of style of play that we have, do you think we'll run over West Ham, we'll draw them, or do they have a chance against us?
I think this will be tight since I think normally nag-5 si Moyes pag kalaban tayo. So, low block to. Then baka dominate yung midfield natin, whoever we put there. So, it will be tight. Game of margins to. Maybe a set piece, individual piece of brilliance or skill may win this game. Kasi kung mag-back 5 sila, alam mo naman hirap tayo sa pag ganyan. Medyo, tapos sa midfield pa, baka ma-dominate si Fred. I think we know Fred will start. Tapos, it's more likely that Matic or Pogba sits them. Makakayanin ba nila yung youth ni Rice tsaka ni Suchek tsaka height din pa. So, dun tayo talaga mahirapan. It's up to the front four talaga and maybe Shaw to create the chances, set pieces. You should take any advantage kasi sa style of play. Yung last goal natin against last game natin sa Premier League, ganun sana yung hinahanap kong style of play. One touch,
Short
down
passing.
runs, short passing. Mga, namimiss ko yun eh. Parang kay Sir Alex pa lang. Kahit shit yung players natin, admittedly. Nagagawa naman natin, di ba? I mean, Cleverly Anderson. We made it. Pero ba't ngayon parang sana kahit you don't have to buy
Anderson
the
wasn't
best players.
terrible to begin with.
I mean, we made it happen. Sana naman kahit ganun lang na. Simple lang. I mean, kahit siguro sila Dan James mag-flourish sa ganun eh. Pero yung one touch lang na ganun na. Tapos yung mga crosses ni Evra, sana matutunan ni Shaw yun. Paiba-iba yung whip cross, curling. Yung iba,
ground cross.
Ground cross talaga. Iba-iba. So, matutuwa si Ronaldo yun pag naggaganon si AWB. So, ganun sana yung gawin nila. Maybe focus on the point of attack. May reference na tayo si Ronaldo. So, let's take advantage of him.
Tama. Yeah. I think that's the big difference. That's gonna be the big difference in terms of style of play. No, na dati kasi wala tayong point of, wala tayong central point of attack. At least now we have Ronaldo. How about you, G? Ang tingin mo sa style of play natin, will it work? Will it roughshod West Ham or will it be tight? What are your thoughts on that?
agree ako sa sinabi ni Carl na nakakamiss nga yung mga short passing yung ginagawa nila Anderson. For sure
Si
talagang
Everly
si
pa pala,
Fred
no?
yung si Fred yung isa starting ulit dyan. Depending lang kung sino ipapartner niya, either si Pogba o si Matic ka. At madi-disadvantage tayo kay Rice tsaka kay Suchek. And then yung forward nila, yun, si Yarmolenko pala opposing forward.
Parang siya na lang eh.
Siya na lang.
Yeah.
Yun.
But I think Jeff, one of the key differences, especially key differences, similarities when I look at it, because you mentioned and the guys have mentioned about Sir Alex Ferguson. No, I think what Ole has done very well now is our wingers are back, right? And talaga wide wingers, right? Even our fullbacks. I mean, AWB is still to improve. I think we never had a Scholes or Carrick type right now. And I think
Wala.
I mean, so that's something that Alex
That's
Ferguson.
maybe like 2 years down the road with Bellingham, But
but I think also what I don't know. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Sir Alex had someone like a Bruno na talagang cam role, no? Na talagang ibang
He's a
klase.
4-4-2 guy, eh.
Yeah.
Kaya
So I think
talaga ni Ole that form of a midfielder na if you're a 4-4-2, you can kahit sino pwede mag-angat mo.
yes.
Pero si Scholes Scholes is like a scam kasi he's so terrible in tackling. But at least he can hold the ball.
Yeah.
Julio's scratching to say something. Pero nakamute us.
Sorry na. Kasi I'm trying to think of a season kasi that they try to play with a similar formation kasi that
now
most teams are now. The best that I can think of right now is yung the one season that Veron, if anyone remembers, si El Brujita, si Juan Sebastian Veron tried to play with what United has now. Pero hindi siya exactly a CAM. Para nagro-rotate sila in between ni Paul Scholes at the time. There was a time kasi noon na I think nagta-transition na kasi noon from Collier to Van Nistelrooy na kasi as a forward noon at the time. But because I think yun nga, in transition na kasi sa mga forwards at the time, Sir Alex tried to play Scholes kasi as a forward na at the time. Not exactly an out-and-out forward, but as a second striker. Much like Wayne Rooney. He confessed in one of those old interviews that he was never comfortable as a second striker or as a central attacking midfielder. No? But the thing is, he had to do it, Sir Alex had to do it, especially in European games, because he needed to make sure that the team is adjusted well to sa European game. That's what they say. Which mas attune si Juan Sebastian Veron at the time. Si Seba kasi noon, he played alongside Keenan Beckham kasi noon eh. Medyo nag 4-3-3 sila at the time noon, pero in an attacking sense in which si Keenan nasa gitna, si Veron tsaka si Beckham yung naglalaro, tapos si Scholes na nandun sa taas. In which parang it kinda deprived yung ability niya kasi to create those passes. But he scores goals. Parang sa loob ko na at the time, even as a kid, parang why are you even complaining when you're already scoring at least 10 goals na wala pang kalahati ng season? What's there to complain about? As it turns out, hindi pala yun yung kanyang strength ng game niya. Ang strength pala talaga ng game niya is kailangan talaga na sa tabi ni Kane, in which pag nagsiswitch naman sila ni Seba, ni El Brujita, si El Brujita naman ang hindi komportable. That's why eventually si El Brujita, after 2 seasons, wala na. Parang
actually,
but I think that's the only time.
When he came back, he's like a deep line playmaker na eh.
Yes.
So when he came back from retirement, parang dahil nga, of course, he got older and he's more comfortable like that. Siya yung less defensive part ni Carrick, kumbaga. Parang gano'n eh.
Ay, ang ganda ng combination na yun.
Yes.
Oo. Correct.
Pero
yun nga, I think that was the only time. And that was it.
Hinahanap yung ating resident Brit. Si Alf kasi may bago. Si Alf may bago na namang laptop eh. Parang pangalawang bagong laptop na niya. Sa pagkakaalala ko so hindi pa niya na-set up. Ganun kabago yun. Anyway. So the game is in 3 hours. Looking at parang as G mentioned, Si Yarmolenko na lang yung natitirang striker nila. Do you think Ben Rama is a concern in terms of, that's the midfield three. You have Suchek, Rice, and then Ben Rama. Will that be a concern? Kasi yun talaga yung parang kumbaga, if you have a heat map, dun yung butas natin eh. Dati it's right. It's only the right side. Pero ngayon, it's near the middle. So how do you think we'll cope with that, Gav?
Well, I think if Fred does his job well, hopefully, no, then he can eliminate that threat. But you're correct. I think it still is. I mean, I would have said if Antonio were playing, right? That's something that our center backs for sure will have a hard time playing, and that's why for sure Varane and Maguire tayo for this round. But yeah, that's something. I guess we cannot be beaten in the midfield. You're correct, kanina, Jeff. No, that for sure when we when we take a Suchek and Rice, I think that's where they're more superior. But we cannot lose the midfield game. So kahit na Fred gets on, playing Benrama closer. And I guess I hope si Varane can also help. Maybe dahil wala si Antonio. I think those will be two key areas, not just Benrama.
That's right, that's right. I'd like to yung comment natin. Jao, actually, Jao, welcome to the show. Welcome. Thank you for that comment. We've also been clamoring for that, that Olin size Lindelof as a central defensive midfielder, but not in cup games because siya yung cup defender natin eh.
Yeah.
Siya yung starter natin doon. But I hope he takes a risk in the Premier League. Sana. Din
He started as CDM in Benfica, no? Tama ba?
Yeah, on some
Tapos
games. On some games.
At saan,
Pero yung development niya, talagang striker daw muna siya eh. Tapos parang siya si McTominay eh. Striker muna, tapos bumaba siya ng bumaba. Si Mr. Lajano, good evening, sir. Pwede na mag-BS na yan.
Yes.
ayun
How
pala,
about
no,
sige, sige.
kasi for this fixture, di ba wala si Antonio. Ang problema lang natin is yung midfield. And then, parang ilan games ang sunod then Carabao Cup with West Ham with Antonio.
Yeah.
So, ang inisip ko kung kaya ba mag-sustain ni Fred. Kasi, yun lang naman yung magiging natin eh. Problema natin yung butas sa mid.
Kasi I'm curious nga tuloy kung ano magiging cup lineup natin. I mean, it's kasi hindi naman pwede mag-over-rotate. So we have a lineup today. That's our strongest lineup. But who's gonna be our League Cup, no? Carabao?
Yep. Third round.
So ikaw, Carl, tingin mo, sino yung magiging cup lineup natin? Given that, as G mentioned, Antonio will be back. And then with depth that West Ham has, they might come out with the same team. So tingin mo, Carl, sino natin?
I think mabibigyan ng chance si Lindelof at si Bailly, hopefully. Kasi parang, in my opinion, kailangan i-preserve natin si Varane and Maguire for the Premier League na Champions League talaga sila eh. So, dapat makabuild na sila ng chemistry. So, we can let them rest. Or if, I think Oli might go for it kasi he barely rest Maguire eh. So, baka mag-Varane Maguire pa rin yan. Siguro sa fullbacks na lang, maybe i-practice na rin si Dalo kasi he would play against Villarreal. He should get his legs in, his game time in para masanay na ulit siyang maglaro ng 90 minutes. Tapos, siguro sa midfield, I think we're thin. Sobrang nipis. Mapipilitan talaga na si Donny. And then, either one of Matic or Fred. Tapos,
I thought McTominay was healthy na. Is he?
Maybe a game too early?
Marang too early pa siya.
Sub.
Pwede siya siguro sub. Oo. Pero sa attack siguro kaya, I think we're strong enough to rotate. Lalo na sa front four, we have pabalik na rin si Marcos. Then maybe Cavani could start sa League Cup para makapagpahinga si Ronaldo for the Champions League and the Premier League. Then maybe some minutes for Mata. No? Para magpahinga naman si Bruno. Come on, we can't play Bruno every game like last season. Nakita mo sa end of
Yes.
last season, sobrang knackered na siya.
Mhm.
Wala na.
Wala.
Then also, maybe time to also give Sancho some minutes there. Kasi paiba-iba yung position ni Sancho. Maybe give him, left ba talaga siya or right? Siguro nalilito pa siya talaga. He can't build any
For
relationship
sure.
pa for the fullbacks.
For sure. Well, he's doing Greenwood is doing well on the right, where I think Sancho generally did in Borussia. I think now we don't have a left until Marcos comes along, no? So yes, I agree with you. Pagbalik ni Marcos, who's our front three? Julio, we're gonna say something.
Uh, I think babalik yata tayo doon sa part na kinikilabutan ako because of the options up front.
Yes. Mhm.
Kasi come to think of it. But yeah, going back to sa sinabi mo na part na kapag bumalik si Marcus Rashford, I think that's the part wherein I guess it's safe to say na doon na masasagot yung tanong na sino ba talaga yung dapat na nasa right side
Yes.
of the midfield, which is for me that should be Sancho. Si Greenwood kasi, well, I think they're trying to groom him in a sense na para mabigyan lang ng minutes yung legs niya. Pero in reality, talagang ang laro niya talaga yung sa gitna. But since the games are coming thick and fast, I just saw the calendar pala. Thank you guys for the reminder. I think this is the perfect time to not exactly to experiment, but to give the other forwards some game time. We've seen Martial play in the Champions League, so I'm sure we'll be given game time din in the cups na din starting with the Carabao Cup. I do sense the feeling that he might start, either him or Cavani. If Cavani is fit, then definitely at some point he might start or he might play enough minutes. But I do see Martial starting a game there, definitely. It's a question of kung sino na lang yung mga makakatabi niya kumbaga on the left and on the right. I would also like to go back to sa sinabi ni Carl to support yung sinabi niya about Dalo. Yes, Dalo really needs game time. Napatunayan naman when he played for AC Milan. 30 plus games is no joke. Laking tulong sa kanya na nung nearly title push nila. So he deserves to see some minutes starting with the cup. Unless na lang if Ole subs him against West Ham, then why not? On the other side, Teles is now back in training kasi. So we might see him at some point in one of these 2 to 3 games, hopefully, para mabigyan din ng pahinga si Shaw. I mean, he's been playing since the summer now, almost non-stop na. So, sana makapag-rotate. Yung formation naman, dun sa tanong kanina, I think I would like to say 4-3 kahit sino or 4-2, 4-4 kahit sino. I don't know. That's how I would like to that's how I like to put it kasi parang kahit sino lagay mo forward dyan as long as they'll score. Parang ganun eh. Pero kailangan talaga merong disiplina talaga sa gitna. Ito, nagtanong si Alf.
Si Medjbri daw. Medjbri.
I doubt it. Pero baka sa Cups
Will. Baka nasa sub siya, no?
Sana. At
Medjbri, si Zidane, we have a Zidane, the boys.
Si Zidane
Iqbal. Galing nun. Na-injure lang, pero ngayon, he's doing really well in the under-23. So, I hope he gets promoted.
Even the kids, no? Even the club has options na with the kids around. Pero yung Medjbri nga talaga parang sana mabigyan ng minutes, especially in the Cups. Kasi going back to that one game that he played yung last game of the season against Wolves, press resistant yung bata eh. So, why not, diba?
Yeah.
Tsaka, galing ang chemistry nun. Those guys, siya, si Elanga, and then si Shorty Ray. One more.
Yeah.
Basta, they had better chemistry than the first. Si Ahmad, ba? They had better chemistry than the first team. So that's what I was.
Hopefully our next 2 games, no. I just wanted to mention next 2-3 games. When I take a look at our fixtures, West Ham, Aston Villa, then between that's Villarreal, then Everton. Those are winnable 3 games. And just to note na Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City will play each other during those times. So like early season, kung form tayo ng some gap, I think that would be a good start.
All right. Good discussion, boys. Score prediction so that we can prepare now for our, the app predictions and our fantasy lineup nung Friday maaga yun. But what's your score prediction, boys?
2-0.
Start ka na. Start ko.
2-0.
G, ikaw.
3-1.
3-1.
3-1 ako.
2-0 for Gab, 3-0 for G. Julio.
3-0.
3-0.
With Varane
yes,
around,
sana.
I think there's a bit of protection compared from the last time that they met away at the London Stadium. I think there's an added protection. So I'd go 3-0 this time.
Carl.
1-0. Ronaldo winner.
Wow.
Huwag sana ganun kalapit, Chief.
I think we're going 4-1
Whoa.
because,
Whoa!
well, makakascore sila muna. Either a Benrahma worldie or a Rice worldie. I don't know. But we are second half FC, so I hope we. And that's what I bet. Alpha's prediction 2-1 United, of course. We will not predict a 2-1 West Ham here in the show ever. Or 2-1 whoever. All right, so thanks, boys, for joining me tonight for the quick notice. Welcome, Gab, as our new co-host. So for some shows, he'll be the one to start off. Oh, si Tokayo, 3-1 daw. Nope, no Cavani pa rin as far as
No
I
pa
know.
rin.
No Cavani. No, wala pa
No
rin, wala
Cavani.
pa rin.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. Thank you to our 7,000 viewers. 7,000 viewers
Wow,
on Facebook and
congrats!
YouTube. So
Wow.
let's enjoy the game later tonight. A bit early game, so sulitin natin. And peace out. Yo.
Go
Ay, hindi
United.
ko pala. Hindi ko pa na-play. Sobrang ano ko na yan. Ito na.